Oh, am I going first, am I?
Yeah. So the Dr. Scott is he study about the Hemohim and then want to introduce us about the why the everyone know Hemohim is really good for the immune and sort of things, but we don't know why. Just we feel after that Hemohim we have more strength, but he can explain more detail about the
Okay,
Hemohim.
first I better introduce myself then.
Yes.
I'm a doctor. I'm a biomedical scientist. I work in the field of biomedical electronics and nutrition. And since I've joined Atomy, I've learned about the many different types of things that Atomy sells. And one of them interest to me is the Hemohim. It has a lot of qualities to it that are not necessarily known. Now, if you have the booklet with you, or if anyone here had the booklet with them, if they go to that page, they go to that page there. Now you'll see down the bottom of the page where I've marked it, just in here, this page here.
Yeah.
One of the things that's been made on that page there, it says effects on the suppression of suicide of intestinal cells. Now, if a person gets very sick and their body can't fight off the disease, the cells will often die they'll commit suicide to try and take the disease with them. If a cell gets infected, the cell will often die and take its host with it. Well, Hemohim keeps the cell alive longer by increasing its immune system strength. Now, a normal cell is supposed to last 120 days, but since we get a very bad lifestyle, we get a very bad diet, or we get sick, the cell can often be 50, 70, 80, or 90 days, and then it just dies or commits suicide. Now, Hemohim gives the ability for a cell to live to its full 190 days, 120 days. With a period over 90 days, it gets stronger and it produces a much healthier replication of itself. Now, when cells divide, they tend to take on the DNA of their former host cell. So if a cell is very healthy, it will divide and take on its new host DNA. Therefore, every time it divides, it'll strengthen the cell next to it. So that's why it takes a little bit of time when you're taking Hemohim to rebuild the body up, because the cells have got to replicate and repair each other as they go along. Now, also included in Hemohim is calcium. Now, we know calcium is very good for collagen and elastin. We know that it's one of the foundations for building up beauty and keeping the skin healthy and keeping the skin stronger. Now, we see that on this page here. That page there, we see the ingredients in the Hemohim. Each one of them has a special purpose. Vitamin B helps with the healing, helps with the blood flow. Vitamin C also helps with blood flow. It also helps with pain. If you get really sick or you get a lot of pain, one of the easiest way to treat the pain is to take 2 vitamin C tablets, because they'll relieve the pain quicker than a Panadol or a Nurofen. They help bring oxygen in the blood, and that helps circulate through the areas where the pain is, and that suppresses the pain by providing it with proper nutrition and proper food and proper oxygen. So the Hemohim also acts as a very good painkiller. So if you have a headache, which is usually caused by dehydration if you haven't had enough to drink, you can then take the Hemohim, and the vitamin C will help you provide that extra strength to the cells and increase the actual blood flow. Now, most people, when they get into an emergency situation, they give them vitamin C. Vitamin C helps oxygen flow through the body, because we know that vitamin C combined with bioflavonoids absorbs oxygen, works with iron to absorb oxygen. Now, in a situation where there's a lot of pain, we're often suffering from a lack of oxygen. And the cells that need to carry that oxygen can get that strength from the Hemohim. There's a lot of good reasons behind taking it. One of them, it helps you keep your skin youthful and stronger and more supple. 2, it provides you with a form of painkiller in the form of vitamin C, less pain. It provides you with extra oxygen in the body because it helps the oxygen get carried around by the iron in the blood. And it provides you with the extra life of the cells. So having the cell life of, say, 120 days is often reflected in the life of us as people. So if our cells are dying at 55 days, it often means our life cycle is 55 days. So we tend to die at around that age. So if our cell life is around 120 days, we can live to a ripe old age. Now, is there any proof of this? Yes, there is, many times, even in the book that it tells you how elder people have got more energy, more strength, more awareness. They're not suffering from the cold so much. They're not getting as hungry all the time. That's a proof that the Hemohim actually does what it's supposed to do. Now, in my field of biomedical science, I deal with a lot of areas. One of the things I deal with is disease control. That's one of my areas. Now, I started off in medicine in 1979. I joined the military as a war surgeon or trauma surgeon. Now, the problem is, every time blood came out of a person who was injured, I kept fainting. I ended up being a hemophobic, afraid of the sight of blood. So that ended my career as a war surgeon. So I went into biomedical science. In Australia in those days, in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have any such subjects as biomedical science. So a lot of the areas had to be invented. A lot of areas had to be studied and developed. And from that, we came up with all the answers we have today. Now, along with the Hemohim, if you take it with other supplements, like you take it with calcium, you need to have the lysine to go with the calcium. So if you're taking a multivitamin, make sure the multivitamin's got lysine in it. The same as the iron needs the orange juice or the bioflavonoids and the vitamin C, calcium needs lysine to be absorbed. So if you're taking a calcium supplement, you need to get some lysine with it as well too. Now, both these are fairly available. Now, the life of a cell is determined by many factors. One of them is the pressure inside the cell, how a cell can absorb water and how a cell can get rid of water. If the membrane of the cell is damaged, it can't allow water in and it can't allow water out. Now, we put on a lot of weight when we eat too much salt because it damages the cell membrane. So roughly 1 gram of salt is equal to 125 milliliters of water. So the cells will absorb a lot of water and can't get rid of it. Well, the Hemohim helps the membrane become porous and helps the body get rid of excess water, which thus helps you lose weight. That's why you get extra strength, you feel lighter, you feel healthier, and you lose weight. Because the body can actually produce more energy with the oxygen it's receiving, and you don't feel as hungry. And in the photo on the intestinal cells that are being irradiated, the cells are able to recover very quickly on this page. The cells are able to recover very quickly from the damage to them because they're getting the proper nutrition that maintains the cell wall and maintains the equal pressure inside and outside of the cell. Now, Hemohim can do that. And it also, taken with that, you need the vitamin A's, B, C. You need the D2 from the sun. And you need, D2. You need the B12, and you need the potassium, which you get from bananas, which are very good for the diet. Now, if you're taking the Hemohim, it's also good to take with that bananas, avocados, grapefruit, vitamin C, extra vitamin C in the form of fruit, apples, grapes, berries, kiwi fruit, oranges, passion fruit, peaches, nectarines, plums, what did I put that one? Oh, eggs, chili, and in the morning having a spoonful of apple cider vinegar with a spoonful of honey in a glass of warm water. They also help the Hemohim get absorbed properly and to do its job. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, thank you so much. It's a lot of helpful. And then can you explain about the NK cell, natural killer cell? So one of the Hemohim actions show the NK cell active. Yeah,
natural killer cells.
Yes.
Your body produces many types of cells. It produces T cells, which come from the thymus. It produces B cells, which come from the bone. It produces the dendritic cells and natural killer cells. Now, if you have a natural killer cell that's contaminated with plaque, like bad teeth, it can't identify, and it can't identify the enemy that's attacking it. It's like a soldier trying to hunt in the fog. You know, you can't really see the enemy until the enemy is upon you, and by the time it's often too late. Well, giving the natural killer cells a much wider vision to be able to identify the enemy long before the enemy is able to identify the natural killer cells, the body can take time to explore the different ways on how it can best attack those cells and get rid of them. Now, we often destroy those cells through our diet, through alcohol, through smoking, through drugs, and a lot of other things. So the Hemohim helps strengthen up the natural killer cells because it provides them with better weapons. Now, better weapons are the elemental substitutes that we take. Now, a weapon to a virus or sickness is the ingredients that the natural killer cells can carry with them. Now, natural killer cells will often envelop a virus or something like that, a bacteria virus, and use its intestinal juices to dissolve it, to eat it. And when the killer cells die, that acid is then released into the blood, and if we're not having a good diet, we end up with acidosis, or we get uric acid, or we get many other things. We'll get a lot of sicknesses from too much acid in the blood. So balancing out the natural killer cells so that their life cycle increases to 120 days instead of earlier, they are able to pass on the knowledge to other natural killer cells before the enemy arrives. So it's like preparing a whole entire army, knowing that you can see the enemy coming from, say, 10 miles away, and everybody's on alert. So the actual diseases that affect man can't get a foothold on the human body because natural killer cells are a lot stronger because of the way the Hemohim gives them the tools to fight off the disease. Any other questions?
So in this room, actually, I have some friends with autoimmune disease, such as like psoriasis, like a skin infection, you know, or like in Korea or in Australia, you know, a lot of children have like a skin, it's called eczema. So can it be quite helpful in your opinion?
Yeah, you mentioned psoriasis and you mentioned eczema. Now, there are two causes of psoriasis. One is celiac disease. If you're allergic to dairy and you're allergic to milk, so dairy and milk, the same thing, but dairy, milk, butter, cheese, and you're allergic to gluten or flour types, if you take those, you'll get red rashes on the skin, white scaly patches. That's often called psoriasis or eczema, and that's caused by an allergy to gluten. Now, there are literally millions of people who are celiacs and don't know about it. It shows up as a first sign as a red rash on the skin and itchiness. And if you don't take dairy or gluten for a couple of days, you'll find the rash goes away. Now, creams that you put on them, topical creams, will help soothe the rash, but they won't stop the cause. Now, the Hemohim, being high concentration of vitamin C, is used as a defense mechanism against allergies. One, it helps reduce inflammation from the allergies. And two, it gives you a chance to sit back and try and identify why the allergy is there. Now, if you start getting red rashes on the skin and you start getting little white scaly patches on the skin, I would recommend you taking a fexofenadine, something like this. This is the Fexo 180, and taking that and see what happens 4 hours later. If the itchiness and the soreness of the skin goes away, then you now have an allergy to something that you've eaten. So the first thing to do about that would be to eliminate the bread or eliminate the milk, and then take the Hemohim, so it gives the body a chance to build up the immune system. And you'll probably find within a few days, sometimes within a few hours, those itchy red patches will go away. Now, I know this for myself personally, because in late 2006, I had a car accident. I ended up with celiac disease, which is injury to the celiac ganglia. And I never had psoriasis, but I suffered from it for 5 years, very, very badly. And the doctors couldn't tell me what was wrong. So I went and did my own research. Being a doctor, I went and did my own research and did my own tests on myself, you know, being an egghead and being one to experiment on oneself. I found out that my psoriasis was caused by the bread and by the milk. And when I cut those two out and I boosted my vitamin C, my vitamin B, my vitamin E, my D2, and my D3, the psoriasis went away and it's never come back. So I know the cause of it and I know why. Now, the other cause of it is a virus called mononucleosis, industrially induced gluten. The natural gluten found in whole grain rice and not whole grain rice, sorry, whole grain wheat often doesn't contain such a high rate of gluten that it infects people as much. Now, we've gone to a stage where we're using Roundup to grow wheat. Now, the gluten is modified slightly by the Roundup because the Roundup salts are still in the soil when the wheat is grown, and it picks up the Roundup salts, which genetically alters the gluten, which makes it poisonous to us.
Okay.
So eating gluten-free bread is one way to test to see if your psoriasis will go away.
Okay.
And if it does within a week, then you know what's wrong. You've got to stay away from processed bread. And yeah, so anything that has processed gluten in it, including monosodium glutamate, which is a gluten, MSG. So try and avoid that in cooking. And try and replace it with something that tastes as nice as MSG, but doesn't have the same sort of effect on you. Any other questions?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I just got a question. I'm a long-time psoriasis patient.
Yes.
Get to very bad now. They have to give me injection, Humira, to suppress my immune system.
Yes.
So work very fine. And I got introduced to hemorrhoid.
Yes.
And I just tried one sachet and the whole body got itchy for a few days. So
Yes.
what do I do?
Yeah, okay.
It's like patches, like what you call the English term is urticaria or hive.
Hives. Yeah, allergy, hives.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. When you're sick and you take a medicine, your body can often produce what they call the healing effect, where your body has an adverse reaction, which is really throwing out or disposing of the disease. Now, one way to get rid of disease is through the skin, and it goes other ways, but one of the ways to get rid of the disease is through the skin, and hives is often the healing reaction to you taking the Hemohim. Now, if that's the case, have you stayed off bread and stayed off milk for a long period of time?
No. I will try. Listen to your advice.
Yeah,
I will try.
I would try staying off bread and milk for a week.
But the issue I have is when I just have one sachet, my whole body react to it very bad. It's like I did not try anymore, and it lasts for 3 to 4 days.
Yes, it'll often do that. If you're very sick and the doctor gives you a medicine, your body will break out into a fever, into a sweat. That's a way for the body to counteract the virus. The virus has a limited threshold of heat, and producing a sweat destroys the virus or produces a healing effect. So if you want to try and stay off bread and milk for a little while and get some fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, mainly kale, or if you can go down to the shop, Woolworths, and you can get some of the 5-bean sprouted bean mix that they have in the packets there, and mix that in some rice, get some brown rice, mix that in there, and mix in a bit of pineapple. Fresh pineapple is one of the best things for curing hives because it has a enzyme in it called bromelain, and bromelain helps refresh the body, helps refresh the immune system. If you can take that and try that with some brown rice, some of the 5-bean mix. You're not allergic to soy products?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It just that it just was very strange. Like I was on the medication for nearly a year now, and it's controlled. It suppressed the psoriasis.
Yeah,
but when I tried this,
the psoriasis, not curing it.
Yeah, it's only suppressed. I agree. I have to do every 2 weeks. I got the injection. But the issue I have is when I try the Hemohim, it's just flare up again. So I wasn't sure if it's Hemohim or it's something I eat, and it's actually lasts 4 days, and I was so scared.
Well, it's often a combination of what you are eating.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's not Hemohim.
Do you like soft drinks?
Yes.
You like sugar, white sugar?
Yes.
Okay. Avoid white sugar. Go to honey.
Okay.
The white sugar can often produce hives if you have too much of it. I know when I was a child, a lot of people who had a lot of sweets because a lot of us didn't have sweets when we were growing up. A lot of people who had sweets, they got hives from the high processed sugar content of what they're eating. So I would stay away from white sugar, go to honey, or go to fructose, or go to cane sugar, not cane sugar, what do they call it? There's a name for it. Anyway, you find it.
That's okay. So stay away from white sugar and
Yeah,
then
stay away
soft
from
drink.
the white sugar. If
Okay.
you get the brown
you.
sugar, the raw brown sugar,
Yep.
that still has molasses in it, which still has the vitamins and minerals in it. That will help you better. But get off the white sugar, because taking Hemohim and the white sugar together, well, Hemohim is meant to improve your body circulation and your body's health. Well, having white sugar and the Hemohim together, it made a healing effect. The white sugar provided a catalyst for the Hemohim. So I would stay away from the white sugar for a little while. Yeah, try honey. Stay away from the bread and milk and use honey in your tea and on your cereals and that. And try and eat more greens, more kale, more lettuce, olives, and more fruit.
So I still can continue using the Hemohim.
Yes, I do. I use the Hemohim quite regularly.
Yeah, I use one and it's got a side effect, so I'm worried. Maybe you are right about the white sugar a bit. And I'll try to cut it down, use the Hemohim and see what happens. Because I tried one suggestion that's got very bad effect on me for the last 4 days. And I wasn't sure that because the Humira suppressed my immune system, would the Hemohim try to improve it?
The immune system.
Yeah, and then Hemohim try to
enhances the immune system.
So
you're having a war between those that are trying to destroy your immune system and those that are trying to build it up.
Yeah,
a bit of a fight between the two.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
like
the reaction.
The one in the producing of the hives.
Yeah.
And,
so I can. Is this safe for me? Still continue using it, sir?
Yeah, it's safe for me. I mean, when I first took it a few weeks ago, I had a fever. Now I had been to McDonald's and had one of those soft top cones with a flake in it. Now I'm allergic to dairy, and I had one of those cones with a flake, and they had the Hemohim, and I had a very high fever. So that was an overreaction to me having too much sugar and then having the Hemohim. Now that taught me a major lesson not to have any sweet sugars or white processed sugars and Hemohim together. Because every once in a while, maybe once a week, I try to have something sweet. If I can't find soy products, I go to McDonald's. Now, you know, they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, it makes you mentally more aware that these things can happen. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, hi. I'm just speaking on behalf of a friend who has been diagnosed with kidney failure for the last 5 years. He goes to hemodialysis. I know that you explained earlier with regards to bananas. Yeah, he's not allowed to eat a lot of bananas because of the potassium rate that's going to go into his body. He's also got liver issues. He's got a stomach ulcer, blood pressure. So I've given Hemohim to him, and he started on it. And the first time he went on it, he got checked when he went to his hemodialysis, and he said that his blood pressure has dropped. Now, I've given him vitamin C, vitamin B, folic acid, vitamin D, calcium, as well as milk thistle. So I don't know what else to be able to help him, but he said that there's some improvements in all the stuff that I've given him, plus the Hemohim.
Well, you've done all the right things. The other one you could do was a vitamin A. Vitamin A will help. And you only need a very small amount of vitamin A. Retinol or retinoid in carrots and things like that, vitamin A. That will help refresh the nervous system. Now, vitamin C will often lower blood pressure. Now, I've had people who have been very high blood pressure and they haven't had their medication, and I've given them 4 vitamin C, those chewable tablets, and it's lowered the blood pressure because it's increased the oxygen content in the blood, mixed up stronger with the iron, and it's actually relieved a lot of the stress on the system to make them feel more relaxed. Now, tension is often a very good reason why you have high blood pressure. If you have constantly stressed, now you mentioned to me you've got kidney problems. Have they checked the adrenal glands on the kidney to make sure the adrenal glands are not stressed out?
Mm.
Have they checked his levels of adrenaline? Make sure that he's not overproducing adrenaline.
Yeah, I did advise him to get a full bloods so that, you know, they can see where the issues are lying at the moment after he's taken a few weeks of the Hemohim. But he said he feels much stronger, and also the blood pressure has come down heaps.
Okay, it sounds like the adrenal glands, which sit on top of the kidneys, are being more relaxed.
Mm.
And if they're more relaxed, they're not pushing out so much adrenaline, and that's going to help. And the thymus is relaxing more. It's not under so much stress, and it
Yep.
can produce the natural killer cells and the T cells to help
Yep.
remove whatever's upsetting him.
Yeah.
So I think you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
Is he type 2 diabetic or not?
He is type 2. Yes. He
Type 2 diabetic?
yes. He's also a diabetic, and he takes metformin 1,000 mg.
Yeah, one slow release, XR?
Yes, XR, slow release.
XR. Okay, well that's going to reduce his sugar levels in his blood system. It's going to increase his insulin rate of use and decrease his sugar levels, which will also decrease the blood pressure. Now, in the military, if a person I was looking after got shot, we would give him a sugar injection. Now, sugar causes reverse osmosis, which forces the body to maintain water in the blood. Now, sugar also causes high blood pressure because it forces the body to retain water in the blood. So cutting out the sugar level, by using the metformin and using vitamin C, will reduce blood pressure by reducing the sugar content in the blood and allowing the more saline content to become more available. Now, potassium, he's taking potassium blockers because he's not allowed to have bananas.
Hey, yeah, pretty much.
Beta blockers and alpha blockers.
Mm.
Okay, that's from bananas there, potassium, sodium. Now, in that case, the potassium needs to be balanced out. If he's taking too much potassium, it needs to be balanced out with, give me 2 seconds, I'll just tell you what it needs to be balanced out with. Okay, potassium, K, and Na is, sodium, potassium and sodium balance. Okay, calcium, potassium, calcium, sodium, and iron. Okay, in his blood test, was he iron deficient?
Yes, iron deficiency. Yeah, he's taken iron tabs. He's on FIFO as well.
He's on FIFO?
Yeah.
Okay, get him to take some vitamin C with bioflavonoids, which you gave him the vitamin C. The Hemohim contains the vitamin C.
Yeah.
And get him to take some avocados as well too. Does he like avocados?
Well, he should.
He should?
We come from a land, we had no butter, and the butter was avocado.
Avocado, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, to kill that potassium problem, he needs to get, what I just mentioned, he needs to get some FIFO, with that some orange juice. Also with orange juice, he needs to get more fresh fruit, more greens. He needs to get some more protein from kale. And does he like salads and much?
Yeah, they eat salad. What about spirulina?
Spirulina, yes, it's very nice. The green type is very good. The green spirulina is very good. The green-grey spirulina is very good for you. And that contains a lot of things that will help lower the blood pressure as well too, the spirulina.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you.
If you can get that into him, spirulina into him, and you get some salads into him, then that will help a lot. Now, watermelon is also one good way of reducing blood pressure. So if you've got some watermelon.
But then he'll probably retain fluids in his legs and his...
If his sodium and his potassium balance is even, then he won't retain fluids. He'll get rid of a lot of fluid.
Yeah, because I could see that he was on aspirin as well, blood thinner as well. Yeah.
Okay. Has he been checked for, all his symptoms indicate to me that he may have got EBV, which is Epstein-Barr virus. Now, do you know if he was younger, if he had glandular fever?
Not that I know of. I'm not sure. But
Okay.
if you're saying it, then I'll probably check through with him and get him to do the test.
Yeah, just get him to check the test and see if he's got mononucleosis or the antibodies for mononucleosis in his blood. If he has, all his symptoms, high blood pressure and everything you mentioned, could be coming from a past effect as a child of glandular fever. If that's the case, you've got to keep him off bread and milk, keep him on a good vegetable diet, and keep him on the vitamin C, keep him on the Hemohim, because that will help.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah, so
Thank
that'll
you.
help.
Thank you. Yep.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Just to kind of like for my friend, as I heard, she's taking Hemohim for a month, and then also she's taking the milk thistle like for recovering good for liver. So
Yes,
I
milk
basically
thistle,
when
yes.
I hear from it's milk thistle. So when I hear from you, basically she needs also do some modify her diet, like eating good, like get rid of milk and bread,
Yes.
and see how it goes with the Hemohim. Hemohim is basically about great for autoimmune disease and
Yes.
also like good for our immune system. So I believe in Hemohim. So make sure you guys just keep taking Hemohim. For my experience, I'm so healthy, but taking Hemohim 2 a day just gave me strength and energy. But some other people with some problem, I heard a lot of different reaction, headache, stomach problem, and couldn't sleep at first. But I believe it can be kind of the symptoms, some showing improvement as well. So don't be afraid. You can just adjust, the number of sachet. So if it's just you get headache, perhaps instead of 2, just reduce 1, then just go back to normal. As you heard from my friend, she's taking 6 a day, 5 or 6, I think. Yeah. So just keep going on. I really like Hemohim.
Well, Hemohim will cause in the body a healing reaction. Now, if you're sick and you take Hemohim, it will cause you to, like you might break out in hives, you may get sweats, you may get fevers, you may get other things associated with a healing reaction. Now, you've got to be aware that if you go to the doctors and you get a flu vaccine, the first thing that happens is you get sick. And you wonder why you got sick when you got the flu vaccine. Well, that's called a healing reaction, so that next time the virus comes near you, the virus can be identified by the body and can be killed before it makes you sick. Now, Hemohim prepares your body or prepares your natural killer cells to attack whatever's making it sick. And next time that sickness comes into the body, the natural killer cells will identify and kill it, and you'll suffer no side effects from whatever's going to make you sick. So if you get a healing reaction, I'd be very happy, because, I mean, being a biomedical scientist, I heal pets, and I used Hemohim on a pet, on a dog, and he had he had carcinoma, a cancer. And when I gave him the Hemohim, 2 days later, he started coughing the cancers out, big chunks of red, horrible blood. And then after you started coughing them out, you started getting infections. Now, a healing effect, or a healing reaction, is the infections to having the actual cancer coughed out. Now, I wasn't worried about that because it was producing white blood cells, which are natural killer cells, and we knew that it was doing its job. So it works very effective on pets. So not only humans, it works very effective on pets. Now, I've got some, I got some pictures, I think they're on this phone, of what the dog used to look like and how we're able to heal him. Now, I'll just see if I can find the pictures. Where are we? Pictures.
So you have a lovely pet in your house. You can try with the Hemohim together.
No, I don't have any pets in the house. Hang on, it should be in here somewhere. Oh, it's not. Oh yeah, hang on, just give me 2 seconds. I'll just bring up something on the computer.
Also, I just when he looking for Dr. Scott looking for the picture, I talked to the Alex. If you see the Dr. Ding's interview, she's a Chinese doctor for 20 years in Sydney, and when she introduced about the Hemohim's ingredient, is very famous in China for 4,000 years, and then those natural herb have the like a 20% of people have the recovery action showing. So especially who has like a very low immune and then the very not healthy people, they show the 20% of people have recovery actions.
Yes, which is perfectly normal for that to happen. I'd be a bit worried if that didn't actually happen. I'd be worried if you didn't actually get a reaction to taking it. That means that your body is obviously coping with whatever it's being given. And yeah, I'll just share this with you. How do I share screen? How do I share screen? Let's find out how I share screen. Where do I share screen? Now,
are you using mobile phone or are you using computer?
I'm using my computer.
Okay, so the
Alt S. Again. Alt S.
Okay, you can share your. Can you share your?
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Now, you see the email here. It says, "Hi, Scott. He had a rough couple of days and still not really eating after coughing up those other bits of tumour, but it's slightly drier today. And I managed to get the medicine into him from yesterday. See how he goes." Now, this is an email only a few days ago from when I treated the dog with Hemohim, and it's actually coughed up the last 4 pieces of the tumour, which is the carcinoma, which is making the dog sick. Not only does it work with people, it also works with pets. So I experimented it on my friend's dog, and it works. It works.
Amazing.
Being a biomedical scientist, I know the limits that I can experiment on with pets, and I know the limits I can experiment on with people. And knowing that it's a natural product and it's not going to hurt pets and it's not going to hurt people, I gave it to the cancer dog. I had nothing to lose. He was going to die from cancer. So I tried it on the dog. I tried it on Toby, which is the dog's name, and he got better.
Oh.
Only 3 days after taking him, he spat all the tumours. It works on people, it works on pets. That's how good it is. It's not limited to just humans only. Yeah. I'm going to recommend it to my other people who have pets who are sick and try it on them as well too. See what sort of reaction I get from that. Yeah.
So it's interesting. But I'm wondering, is the dog like the Hemohim? How to feed him?
Well, we had to put the Hemohim into a syringe,
Uh-huh.
like pack it into a syringe, and then put it in the side of the mouth like you do with horses and that, and squirt it in.
Okay. So what's can I ask how about you found the improve the dogs, you know? What's the symptom change something? Change a little bit or?
Well, he slept very well the first night. He got up in the morning and he started drinking water. And then he started looking for snacks. And then he went outside and started coughing really badly. And that's when the actual cancer came out. That's when the tumour came out.
So only a few days, the dog changed the, you know, like it sounds the dog can eat a lot, eat better? Or?
Yeah, the dog is now eating and barking. And the dog's 14 years old, which is 98 in human terms. So we had nothing to lose. Labradors normally die at age 12 to 14.
Yes, yeah, right.
And he was 14, had cancer. We had nothing to lose. He was either going to die or he was going to recover.
Right.
So we gave him Hemohim, and he recovered.
Good.
So we didn't have anything to lose, and the owner was quite happy to experiment. And since it's a natural product that has a lot of good benefits in it, particularly vitamin C, which is one good thing that helps animals as well too, it gained it worked. It worked.
Good. How many days so the dog started to change?
3 days.
Oh, only 3 days. It's
Only
lovely.
3 days.
Good. How many sachets you feed the dog the Hemohim?
We only gave him one.
One per day.
Yeah, we gave him one just to test the reaction to it. Because I know when I first took it, I had a fever.
Yeah.
That's called a healing reaction when you take the first time. Now, I didn't know whether the dog was going to take a healing reaction to it or kick the bucket or, you know, whether it was going to cause the situation to be worse or not. But so we only gave one and it cured the dog. If I had my, how much time have we got? I can get the photos on the laptop and show you what he was like before and after.
Okay, so the can you try to share the clip?
Yeah, it's the only problem. It's on the laptop. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just get the laptop.
Thank you.
What if like somebody else?
It's under the mouth, in the back of the throat, in the eyes, in the nose,
Yeah.
inside the mouth. Now, this is before, and this is 3 days after. You'll notice
Well,
there is no cancer.
That's very clean now. Wow.
So that's before. That's the cancer in the body. That's using my biometric scanner to do the scanning. That's the cancer down in the body, and this is the after effects. All the tumours have been coughed out, and the eyes are cleared up, and the throat's cleared up. So it works very well, both before and after photos of the taking. So it works on pets very effectively. It knocked off a carcinoma, which is a cancer, which either was going to kill the dog or, well, it would have eventually killed the dog.
Yeah, I will try to.
That's what it does.
What about somebody with prostate cancer? Do you think that would work?
Well, I have to, I'm going to experiment on that. Okay. The biomedical camera, which we use to take the results, tells you if a person's healthy or a person who's sick. Now, if you, the reason I experimented on the dog is because the camera showed up on people that a person was sick. Now, if you look at this picture, you'll see on this picture what the person's suffering from. It's very obvious. You should be able to tell straight away what it is. When you look at the picture, you should be able to see straight away what it is that's wrong with her. She's got, you can see the pink on the breast. She's got breast cancer. So the camera picked up on the breast cancer. Now, I'm yet to try that on other things. So what I'm going to experiment with in the next weekend, I'm going to try Hemohim on other people who I know who are sick and see if it actually knocks off the cancer, because I have photos of before and I'm going to take photos of after and see what the difference is between a person who has it and a person who hasn't had it. So I've got some test samples of photos of people who I know are sick. I'm going to give them the Hemohim on the weekend and take a photo of them 2 or 3 days later and see if that photo's changed. And then I can get some pretty good dramatic results of just how useful the Hemohim is. The people I know are willing to be my guinea pig because they've got nothing to lose. So I'm going to try it.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Scott, for your time. You're nearly talking for 1 hour straightforward.
That's
Thank
okay.
you so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
Must be exhausted.
That's okay. I love this sort of thing. I love medicine.
Yeah, so the Hemohim is not a medicine, but it helps, as Dr. Scott said, help to our NK cell activate and then help our immune. So maybe some who have a serious disease take a more long time. He said about 120 days of exchange time for our cell. Yeah. So, thank you. So is there any other questions or?
Any other questions?
Lucy just come in. She's just very late. Okay.
For taking up all your time.
Okay. Any other question? Hi, Lucy. We are almost finishing.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. It was great time. We learned a lot, and we got also belief, like a strong belief in Hemohim too. Yeah, thank you for your time and your knowledge.
Welcome.
Very valuable.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Today is our time, everyone. And then who missed all the session, I'm so sorry. And then maybe I record and then post on the YouTube about the Dr. Scott. And then because he has a license, so he can speak about Hemohim. And then today we have a meeting with Oceania Atomy, and then they said if they say a lot of people you can see that some people selling our product on either eBay or Amazon or the shops illegally. If they caught it, the membership is the one they give the warning and suspension that's through. Also, when they we doing business, the joining double join or some illegal things. So if they find out there's a warning and suspension, all the procedure. So if you do something wrong, it's like you maybe tell them first, and then they give the forgiving period, and then all sort of things. And then for the center who also the another person who want to open the center, there's another center regulation form in the website. So and then they need to all the picture of the center and then gate, they need to provide all together. Thank you so much, Dr. Scott, and then thank you everyone joining today. Yeah, it was really essential today talking about the Hemohim, and then this day in Australia, Hemohim sold out a lot. Yeah, very popular. So maybe after this lesson, Hemohim get more popular.